to settle this little argument. Which of these is best? As the 2013 victors Dublin play the 2014 winners Kerry. It's the 2015 All-Ireland football final. Kerry coming into this as champions. Will they leave it as champions? Dublin will play from left to right. David Colrick from Meath is in charge. The rain continues to tip down here, but then that was expected. Pitch is in wonderful condition. Kerry have already won the minor, won it handsomely. And even last night, they won the Greyhound Derby final when Ballymac Matt won it. Hoping to make it 3 in a row, they tell me, this weekend. So almost set to go then. Final of the 128th All-Ireland Championship. What a sense of occasion. What noise. And straight away it's Dermot Connolly coming across here to take an early possession. Threaded beautifully in as far as Brian Fenton, and just outside the D he clips it beautifully and puts it over after 16 seconds. What a start.
What a start indeed, Ger. Clinical, decisive, beautiful crossfield ball that time from Connolly to Fenton. And Fenton in his rookie season leaves his mark immediately within 1 minute. Fantastic score, great opening for Dublin.
Just his 4th point in this year's championship, but one that will certainly settle the nerves, you can be sure. Ball fumble there. Kick forward again by Fenton. In it goes. It was Bernard Brogan trying to pick it up there, unable to do so. And eventually Aidan O'Mahony tidying things up. Stephen O'Brien coming across here. Straight into the chest of Donncha Walsh. Goes long here. Out comes Paul Gainey. Gets the nod to start, of course, in place of the team captain Kieran Donaghy. Anthony Marr hitting it far too long and far too inaccurately. Missed chance.
Yes, and just watch this now, Ger, the kick out. This is what we have to keep our eye on. Stephen Cluxton already has been frustrated, very little movement.
Well, Kerry adopted a kind of full court press, and that results in Cluxton giving it away and turning it over.
Yes, and I think incrementally now you can see the frustration going if this becomes a feature.
James O'Donoghue, remember last year he came out around the 40. That time he takes too long to make up his mind where he's going to play the ball. And the free kick is against him, taken very quickly. James McCarthy coming up here to mount the next attack for Dublin. Already with 1 score on the board. I think it was intended for Dean Rock, picked up by Paddy Andrews instead. 3 against him. Good ball across, dangerously, almost handled on the ground, wasn't it? He was handled on the ground indeed by Bernard Brogan, free out. Very
sharp refereeing, must be said. Lovely diagonal ball from Andrews to Brogan. Unfortunately, the wet just slid in the wet and he touched it on the ground.
Well, Kerry have played in the wet in the Munster final replay in Killarney and here against Tyrone as well in their semi-final. Jonny Cooper winning that one, getting a vital touch to it, keeping it away from James O'Donoghue, who then impedes the Dubliner. Free kick.
Yes, and Cooper's gone 1-to-1 on O'Donoghue, and it's interesting already Donncha Walsh and Stephen O'Brien have switched wings.
And Stephen O'Brien has been given the job of trying to pin back James McCarthy, making those long runs. Look where Kieran Kilkenny has got, stole inside the corner back, tries to get it on target. The decision is wide. Not too much in that one.
No, from my angle here, I thought it was going over the bar, but there's great movement in the Dublin attack at the moment. And as you said, James McCarthy on 2 occasions so far has bombed forward. Stephen O'Brien is just trailing in his wake.
Brendan Keeley opts to go long, feeling there might be an advantage in the middle of the field, but there isn't this time, and it's a touch back down to Paul Flynn. Beautifully inside here as far as Bastick. Opens up for him. Rock was the one who had that one foil and stopped. Really good goal opportunity for Dean Rock. Kerry get it back. Peter Crowley. Out via Aidan O'Mahony, out as far as Killian Young. And once again, the Kerry defence there looking quite brittle.
They're cutting swathes through the Kerry defence at the moment, Ger, that is for sure. That should have been a goal, but credit Brendan Keeley.
Jonathan Lyne now. Again, lobbing this one in. Well, it might have suited somebody like Kieran Donaghy, but not necessarily Paul Gainey. Different approach probably required with Gainey in there. Dublin Dublin come quickly from that free kick. Philly McMahon on again to Jonny Cooper. Keeps it moving smartly inside. Going low to take it there was Bernard Brogan. One back by Kerry, by Killian Young. Great pace to the match. Back out as far as Stephen O'Brien. Just 1 point on the board so far. James O'Donoghue again goes by the first tackle from James McCarthy. Then back came Diarmuid Connolly. Safely with Stephen O'Brien. Transferred as far as James O'Donoghue from Buckley. That time the fullback Rory O'Carroll just flapped at that one, kept it away from Gainey. That's the important thing from a Dublin point of view. And here's Cian O'Sullivan, first time he's managed to get on the ball in this game. Kieran Kilkenny. Jonny Cooper now once again. Nobody putting pressure on him. Able to pick out a colleague, and that colleague is Philly McMahon, once again stealing forward as he was doing in the semi-final matches, those memorable games against Mayo. Paddy Andrews had such a wonderful first half in particular against Mayo last time out, this time taken down, and this time Fionn Fitzgerald looks with a puzzled expression on his face towards referee David Coldrig.
Well, no need for a puzzled expression at all, Gerard. Phase after phase of relentless tackling by Dublin. We saw just as in the semi-final replay, Philly McMahon is getting forward repeatedly. Dublin have certainly just made a pact today. We're going to attack. The tactical kind of what I believe at the moment, the caginess is absent so far. It is just all an attack from both teams.
Dean Rock with his first free kick takes it calmly and puts it nicely over the bar. Well, he'd be very, very pleased to get an easy one like that. Denied a goal chance a little while ago. This was it here, as Brendan Keeley got down smartly, resourcefully using his legs. Set up by Dennis Bastick. Should have finished, really, but credit the goalkeeper. Excellent stop. Yeah,
do you remember the stop he made in the replay of the Munster final as well, coming into half-time during an equally wet evening? Fantastic goalkeeping.
One of the best goalkeepers in the country this championship season. Donnacha Walsh. Kerry needing a score into the 7th minute now. Free kick instead. Down to Gainey, touched it beautifully to Buckley, setting a chance up for James O'Donoghue, settled his feet and put it beautifully over. That's one they needed just to reassure themselves. 2 points to 1, they trail, but they're in the match in a scoring sense.
Yeah, delightful decision making where the three Kerry forwards that time. Buckley to Donoghue, got onto his weaker foot, great score.
Ball spilled away from Brian Fenton initially there. He was being harassed by David Moran, but the referee has seen the ball touched on the ground, so it's got to be a free for Kerry. Great pressure play.
And it's the second occasion, Jerry, we've seen from a Dublin kick-out where they're not getting the receiver. Frustration already is beginning to grow in that. It's an area that Dublin are so strong in. Kerry have worked very hard in it, and they're already having success at closing down Cluxton's kick-outs.
This is where Eamon Fitzmaurice will have watched the matches against Mayo and studied and learned. Paul Gainey, short one, easy one, linking with Jonny Buckley, taking a return, putting it over, and all of a sudden the teams are level, 2 apiece.
Oh, so simple, everybody expecting the long-range kick, but great presence of mind and a delightful score.
Another short kick out here, this time Jack McCaffrey is reading the goalkeeper's intentions. He made that little darting run to get away from his marker, who was Donnacha Walsh, but then kicked badly, out of play, needlessly given away that time. And Stephen Cluxton, a little unnerved, you have to say.
Well, very much so. Again, Kerry are very decisive and pushing up on him. They're applying consistent pressure on the kickouts. And the Kerry forwards, it must be said, are very decisive and alert in closing down his space.
David Moran flicking it through here. Held onto by Paul Gainey, point scorer already, then lost because of the presence there of several Dublin defenders. But Buckley wins it back. Cooper's involved. David Moran now, a little solo on the 45-metre line. Good ball outside to Jonathan Lyne. In space, unmarked. Buckley taking it down. Turns beautifully. Doesn't finish, however. Remember, he got 3 points in the opening 10-15 minutes of the semi-final against Tyrone. That's one he should have nailed, I feel. 2 apiece still, 8.5 minutes gone.
Yeah, he looked quite nonchalant, actually, as he went on to his left foot that time. I thought he had it nailed, but no, very, very bad wide. There'll be just a point about that.
Again, let's look to see how Cluxton does here with his kick-outs. Goes long, forced to do so. Flynn came, touched it back as far as James McCarthy, and they're able to hold on to it. Then Cian O'Sullivan, rather nonchalantly kicking that ball away. Dean Rock. Connolly got there ahead of Brogan. Peter Crowley goes back secure, puts his head down, gets past Andrews. Needs the goalkeeper, Brendan Keeley. Anthony Marr now. Wet conditions. Big long one over the head of Stephen O'Brien. He's got Gainey coming out as well to help him here. Still Stephen O'Brien. Back towards the aforementioned Dingle man, and he hit it to the wrong side of the post. But it got a touch, and it's gone for a 45.
45 indeed, Ger, but there's wonderful use of the foot pass by Kerry, up into the corner, stretching the Kerry rear guard. So far, only on one occasion have we seen Cian O'Sullivan involved in the game, trying to cover space, but they're actually bypassing it.
Cian O'Neill there alongside Eamon Fitzmaurice. Unruffled as per usual, Fitzmaurice here, very single-minded in his determination to get it 2 in a row, just as they did, of course, back in 2006 and 2007. So they have this first 45, and James O'Donoghue is the one who's going to take it. No Brian Sheehan, he's among the subs. More difficult kick, I would think, because of the rainy conditions. No breeze about, and he's put it poorly out to the right-hand side, and in spite of the best efforts of Colin Cooper, couldn't keep it in play.
Yes, but he doesn't put the full weight of his body through that. We've seen it already this year. He more or less stabbed at that 45. It was never going to reach its intended target.
Cluxton again goes long, but it's intercepted here by Anthony Marr. They've anticipated all the possibilities that Cluxton might use. Good ball, dangerous ball down here, runs on beyond Paul Geaney that time. And out comes Rory O'Carroll. As far as his centre-back, Cian O'Sullivan, the 27-year-old, down to Dean Rock. Couldn't hold it. Had a chance to catch it. He was under pressure. Should have held it that time, I think. Then the foul committed, and Kerry will have the free kick.
Yeah, but Dean Rock is a lot more active, a lot more alive to situations today than he was in the semi-final. Bit unlucky that time, but I must say the weather is kind of exacerbating the difficulty of controlling the ball.
You just see it there with James O'Donoghue. O'Brien here, again, the referee didn't like the nature of the challenges, so it's going to be another free kick. Dean Rock starting his first All-Ireland final in this his 18th championship match. Anthony Marr. Killian Young now, such a clever player, playing today in his 6th All-Ireland final. Marr, cross here as far as Peter Crowley. As a support player, it's Aidan O'Mahony. He scored in All-Ireland finals in the past. He'd love to score here, but that was 10-15 metres wide of the target.
An interesting thing going on off the ball there. I noticed David Coltrick is going over to have a word with Philly McMahon. He was fouling Rock that time, or rather Colin Cooper that time. The referee didn't pick it up.
Here's Jack McCaffrey, pacey player, penetrative run. Back once again from Kilkenny, back here to Paul Flynn. Not a good ball, straight to Aidan O'Mahony. Oh, hefty challenge there on Marr, which studied well. It's the Dubliner, Paddy Andrews, I think, who came off second best. Peter Crowley struggling to get away from a couple of challenges. The last one was an illegal one. Meanwhile, out of picture, I can tell you that Paddy Andrews has certainly come off second best, and the doctor is in there to attend to him.
Yeah, there was a big head collision that time. Just watch it here coming up. Anthony Marr's coming into it.
Ooh.
That is a hard collision, and I think Paddy Andrews actually will need quite a bit of attention after that, because our friend Anthony Marr, he is one big unit.
Well, the doctor in there is Kevin O'Malley. Kieran O'Reilly from St Vincent's is the physio. He's also physio to the Irish cricket team, so there's a bit of work to do early on here to attend to Paddy Andrews, who was such a star in the second match against Mayo. Everything he hit went over the bar, it seemed. But when you collide against Anthony Marr, well, you stay collided.
Yes, and very, you know, if you look at the game so far, both teams are naturally disposed towards attacking, and they have opened up in a very free-flowing style. As I said, okay, Cian O'Sullivan definitely is playing a sweeper role. Philly McMahon is going man-to-man and Cooper, but other than that, is very, very open.
Moran's free kick caught beautifully by Stephen O'Brien. Back here once again to Marr. Difficult one there for Donegal Wolves to take. Fumbled, in went Bastick, 2 men surrounding him, now 3, and the referee allows play to continue. But that's a poor ball kicked away straight to David Moran. A little bit of work here to do for James O'Donoghue. Again, that football down there is so greasy, so difficult to take under control and contain. All the way up here, but only as far as Killian Young. Young looks around here, sees a player in space. That's Marr. He's got another player to his right-hand side. That's Line. Across as far as Crowley. Darting back inside. Connolly going after him. Seen nothing of Connolly so far. We have now. Back out it comes towards Donncha Walsh, having a look at it and looked away in disgust immediately. And that's 5 wides already by Kerry. It's quite a lot.
Yeah, and bad decision making that time by Donncha Walsh, actually from a very difficult angle, somewhat off balance, in difficult conditions. That was very much, you know, a Hail Mary kick.
Well, the last score was in the 8th minute of this match. 2 apiece still. Brian Fenton, who started the scoring, took it easily around Marr that time, wrong-footed him completely. But then Kerry's half-back line functioning well. Killian Young, the most experienced one in that half-back line, out to Gainey. One for James O'Donoghue to come to, but a committed Jonny Cooper got there first. Got a vital intervention that time, an interception. And Dublin can counter here. And it's the pacey Jack McCaffrey again. All the way down as far as Kieran Kilkenny. Having a great year. Against him, Jonathan Lyne. Back in as far as the support pair, McCaffrey. Back to Kilkenny once again. Dublin trying to get the next score now. Steele back in front again. Maybe Bernard Brogan here. Setting somebody up. Dean Rock putting his boot through it. But to the left of the post. And a missed opportunity.
Yes, and there again, Joe, you have the situation of Jack McCaffrey getting forward, making that extra man, that little domino effect of bringing extra man into the attack, but that should have been finished. That was a good opportunity from Dublin spurned. Keeley just chipping it up into the air. One for Marr to try and get to. He does so, knocks it down to Jonathan Lyne before a couple of Dublin players could converge on him and foul. Good use of possession here by Kerry. Donncha Walsh across here to Cooper, looking to get more involved. Good ball to James O'Donoghue. Trying to steal a march here on Jonny Cooper. Puts his toe behind it and puts it over the bar as well. Really good score. Well, when that little wizard Cooper gets the ball, my God, can he direct those passes with laser-like efficiency, or accuracy rather. That was a wonderful score from Donoghue. And Kerry lead for the first time in this match. Kicked into the middle here, broken down as far as Paul Flynn. This is a bit more like the way in which Dublin used kick out in the past. They usually targeted Paul Flynn, and Paul Flynn is such a good wing forward, so good in the air. Having to do so this time because many of the shorter options aren't always available to Stephen Cluxton. Another free kick, James McCarthy taking this one. Fumbled by Connolly, lost his way, then put his boot in there to try and deny Peter Crowley. One back by Kieran Kilkenny. Having a look around to see where there is a loose man. It's Cian O'Sullivan. In as far as McCarthy. 2 Kerry players went to the one man that time and left McCarthy free. Lost by Bernard Brogan again in the slippery conditions. Ball handling is certainly a problem. That was Cooper, dispossessed by Bernard Brogan. Made up a lot of ground that time, Brogan. And he's got it back to McCaffrey. McCaffrey goes forward again. Goes into the challenge. He's fouled there by Aidan O'Mahony. And it's going to be a free in. And the referee is noting the offence. But full credit to Bernard Brogan that time. He had lost it initially, then went back, regained possession, sent it in as far as McCaffrey, and then the foul was committed there, just about 30 metres out. Yeah, Bernard Brogan that time executed a wonderful turnover. Again, okay, the foul, you know, I think there was 3 or 4 Kerry men made a sandwich, and that was a good opportunity. This could be a 2-point game now, just as it was at the beginning of this match when they got the opening 2 scores, and now Dean Rock. Sorry, correction, it's a 3-3, I should say. Dean Rock with his second free. Jim Gavin here looking on. What a great job he's done over the last number of years. Favourites in the minds of many people at the very start of the year coming into this contest. Yeah, Paul Flynn didn't contest the ball that time. He made for Killian Young. Actually, Killian Young is doing a one-on-one on Flynn. And notice where Flynn is going, Ger, back into his own defence. That ball is kicked away poorly. Jack McCaffrey able to pick it up. Brian Fenton. 3 apiece. Dennis Bastig just takes his time with this pass, trying to place it into the path there of Paddy Andrews against Fionn Fitzgerald. He's doing well there. Chance to regroup. Back as far as Paul Flynn. Taking over is Kieran Kilkenny.
Again, the run by Philly McMahon here in a dangerous position, and then lost. Just couldn't hold on to it, Ciarán Kilkenny. Almost in for a possible score. And it comes out instead to Donegal Walsh for Kerry. Tight marking. McCarthy there in on top of Stephen O'Brien. Nothing given away easily in this match. Dean Rock on the ground. That's Stephen O'Brien there.
Yeah, he might have a word with Stephen O'Brien this time again. The conditions are causing a lot of these incidents, and the man I'm quite fascinated by at the moment is Philly McMahon. By attacking, he's taking Colm Cooper away from the area where he's most comfortable in front of the post. The last Dublin attack, if you saw it, Ger, who is the sweeper? It was Colm Cooper turning over the ball and initiating another attack.
This is interesting. They brought Stephen Cluxton up to take this one. Hasn't scored in this year's championship. He's taken a fair few free kicks, but hasn't hit them over the bar just yet. Well, now maybe in the All-Ireland final that trend will change. Has scored 46 points in the past. Today playing in his 78th championship match. Teams 3 apiece. From outside the 45-metre line, can he land it? They go for the white flag. He most definitely can.
My God, he was so calm and measured with that kick. Wonderful score from his wrong side, so to speak, and that's the lead for Dublin.
He may have looked under a little bit of pressure earlier on with his kick-outs, but it's begun to turn around now, playing with a fair deal of conviction and composure. In the middle of the park here, that's a foul on David Moran. Slips it out quickly as far as Killian Young. Tries to get Kerry back on terms now with this next attack. Into Donegal Walsh, slipping on the ground here. Immediately surrounded, back in beautifully as far as Paul Gainey. Gainey stopped there, lovely touch by Jonny Cooper to dispossess him. Flynn was back there helping, and the referee saw the pressure on Flynn and decided it was a foul and a free kick awarded. Cluxton back out the other side. Carried on by Brian Fenton here. Cian O'Sullivan just spinning around, change of direction. Again, it is Philly McMahon, the player that Mark is talking about there, doing well, dominating his tussle with Colm Cooper so far. Paddy Andrews with a battle to win there. In the end, it is carried out by Fionn Fitzgerald. Line ball, which David Connolly is going to take. Dubs ahead by a point. Booted ambitiously right across to this Hogan stand side to James McCarthy. Unable to step inside the cover of Johnny Buckley. Chance has got a begging. Anthony Marr has it back, and Kerry can mount the next attack. Donegal Walsh. Here's Young. Again, keeping it away there from Dean Rock. Shane Enright. And changing the direction. Aidan O'Mahony. Comfortable, able to carry it out there. Used to play in the half-back line, of course. Fionn Fitzgerald. Switch back in here as far as Anthony Marr once again. Goes long. Good run by Stephen O'Brien in between two Dublin defenders. Good anticipation. Good teamwork. David Moran now to try and complete it, but he can't put it over the bar.
No, that's wonderful movement, it must be said, by Stephen O'Brien that time. David Moran again from distance, putting it wide. But the man here is on the ball at the moment. Cian O'Sullivan doing very, very good work as a sweeper.
And he's got that short kick out. James McCarthy now. McCaffrey. Once again, the Kilmacud Crokes player. Bastic. Leisurely build-up by Dublin. Kerry retreating, more or less inside the Kerry half. Kilkenny. Connolly now trying to dictate the tempo of this game, trying to impose himself a little bit more as well. 3 are after him. He's lost the ball and diving in to try and get that one, and injured in the process there. One of the Kerry players, it's Colm Cooper, in fact, went in.
Yeah, that's quite reckless by Dermot Connolly that time, right into Cooper. Okay, you can say conditions actually maybe made that worse looking than it was, but as I said earlier, Ger, Colm Cooper is back in a defensive situation, and as you alluded to a couple of moments ago, there was no Kerry attacker or no Kerry player in the Dublin half of the field when Dublin went forward that time.
Well, Diarmuid Connolly is one of those players. He's always capable of something spectacular. He's trying to get himself more into the game, however, this afternoon. It's one of those tough afternoons. Conditions are wretched.
Yeah, but there's still that is definitely a bookable offence, Gerard. The way he went in with his foot first, very, very dangerous. But you've got it.
First yellow. Well, again, he's arguing with the referee. But Colm Cooper's okay, back up on his feet. Free quickly taken, sailing into the back that time. Now Johnny Buckley was Brian Fenton. Only 7 points scored in nearly 25 minutes of football. Cat and mouse game so far. David Moran. Fenton, his marker for the afternoon. Buckley. Easily rounding Bastic. Thought about the pass, sold a dummy. Good little block at the end of it then. That was by Paul Flynn. There have been those who've been criticising Paul Flynn for his performances this year, but he's working very hard this afternoon. Rory O'Carroll. Difficult player to outwit at any time, O'Carroll here. Not too many have managed it this season, but that's not the greatest of passes, but it comes good. Not cut out as it should have been by Donnacha Walsh, but they get it back, Kerry. Both teams guilty of sloppy passing. We can make all kinds of allowances for the conditions. James O'Donoghue, McCaffrey trying to get tight. Nice ball inside, shoulder by Gainey, and in the end he gets enough space to put it over the bar. Player who got a goal and 2 points in last year's All-Ireland final has got 2 points here, and the teams are level once again at 4 points apiece.
Yeah, wonderful score under a lot of pressure that time, but just going back for a moment to the Kerry attack, they're somewhat shapeless at the moment, Gerard. They're all over the place, and I must say that the fly and the situating of Cian O'Sullivan in front of his full back line is preventing quality ball from coming inside.
Treatment has been given to Paul Gainey. This is what happened here. And the physio, Ed Hartnett's having to go in there and attend to him. Along with the team doctor, who's Lydia O'Callaghan.
Yeah, and credit to both sides, sure. We can't emphasise enough to viewers how bad the conditions are out there at the moment.
Well, we understand the lights will be required during the second half. They'll not be required during the first half. The game needs a little bit more illumination. Cian O'Sullivan. Philly McMahon now. Opting to punt it outside here as far as Johnny Cooper. James O'Donoghue. Can't get a hand on it. Cooper gets away. Fed in by Bastic. He's got pace. Anthony Marr's after him. Still Cooper gets to the 20-metre line. Bernard Brogan in there tries to keep this one alive, surrounded by Kerry players. Booted out there by Jonathan Lyne in greasy conditions. It's like playing on ice. And in the end, Bernard Brogan spins around and somehow manages to get that over the bar. His first point of the game. And Dublin lead once again by 5 points to 4.
Well, he brings order to it. An awful lot of mistakes that time. And again, it's all caused by the bad conditions. You have to credit Maher in the way he tracked back that time when Cooper came forward. But Brogan picked up the pieces, brought order to it. Fabulous kick off his left foot.
Straight to Killian Young. Did well to just contain it. Now Fionn Fitzgerald in place of Mark O'Shea, who's been troubled by hamstring trouble over the last fortnight, we understand. Shane Enright switching across to the right-hand side. Back once again towards last year's captain, Fitzgerald. Kerry trying to win the 2 in a row. Aidan O'Mahony now. Played in his first final here 11 years ago against Mayo. He's still going forward. He's got 4 points scored in All-Ireland finals in the past. Now he turns inside. Paddy Andrews can't get to him. Connolly's trying to get in a challenge. Killian Young back once again to the Kerry full-back. The experienced man, 35 years of age now. Moran. Oof. Shuddering challenge there from Dean Rock. Referee says take the free kick quickly. They do. Down as far as James O'Donoghue. Looking to try and level the game. Cooper in at the end of this. 2 men on him and a big, huge leap in the air by James McCarthy. And he came down very heavily on his back that time.
Yeah, Cooper did very well that time to keep the ball in play. I think the two players collided in the air. Just watch it here again. Cooper's going for the ball, eyes on it. In fact, he's been pulled back as McCarthy comes in. There was no malintent whatsoever on Cooper's part, but James McCarthy took quite a heavy knock that time. Just watch it coming in. Goes over Cooper. By God, he felt that.
Those of you with back problems all over the country, I think you all probably went collectively, oof.
Very much the job. But just going back to the Kerry defence at the moment, they have been tight, they have been stubborn, they have been unyielding. They're closing down the Kerry options very, very effectively. At times, Philly McMahon, I think, is living on the edge in his one-to-one tussles with Cooper, but they'll be very happy with their first 29 minutes.
Well, he's back up on his feet again. Played a key role in Dublin's victory over Mayo in the replay. That ended up being a free kick. Cluxton fumbles. Dublin lead. 5 minutes to go to half-time. Jack McCaffrey about to be closed down there by Jonny Buckley. Fenton. Very big, tall man, has had a great season. Out to McMahon. As happy in the forward line as he is at the back. That wasn't a good challenge for Donegal Walsh because it hasn't impeded Jack McCaffrey one little bit, and McCaffrey hits it, hopes it'll get inside, and it does. Just about inside the right hand upright. Kerry players questioning that, I can tell you. 6-4 Dublin lead. McCaffrey the scorer. Should have been cut out by Donegal Walsh, but the conditions aren't helping.
They're not helping, Jared, to be honest with you. It just was a tailed in at the last minute. I thought it might have been a case for Hawkeye, but just going back to Colin Cooper and Philly McMahon. Cooper body checked him that time coming forward, was lucky enough not to be called for it.
That was touched down by Brian Fenton, and in the end Bernard Brogan came out to help. Donegal Walsh picked it up. Then it's Shane Enright, fed inside here as far as the influential Anthony Marr, very hard working in the middle of the park. Enright once again having a very steady season at cornerback for Kerry. Jonathan Lyne. Oh, not a great ball by Jonathan Lyne. He was trying to pick out James O'Donoghue. Credit Jonny Cooper, and now he takes a return Cooper and comes forward, bounces off the shoulder of Jonny Buckley. Back once again, and he punts it ahead. The bounce doing Paddy Andrews no favour that time. Tidied by Aidan O'Mahony initially. Now Stephen O'Brien. Once again, it's Fitzgerald. Goalkeeper required.
Dublin will be very happy at the moment. Jack McCaffrey is back doing the sweeper's role this time. There's no movement up front whatsoever for Kerry. They're certainly bereft of ideas at the moment.
Peter Crowley. Cross here as far as Jonathan Lyne once again. Back to Crowley. Half-back line involved in setting up this next attack here, and in the end it's intercepted by Bastic, kicked it away out as far as Dean Rock, taking up some very good positions, Dean Rock, and good decision making as well. That's a good ball ahead to Paddy Andrews. Dublin trying to stretch their lead here. Andrews kicking as he did in the semi-final. First opportunity he's got really to pull one over the bar, and he's obliged. And now everybody in the inside forward line has scored for Dublin today, and they're ahead by 7 points to 4 in this 128th playing of the All-Ireland football final.
And they're finding space so much easier than Kerry are at the moment. Up front, they're kind of great movement off the ball. That time Andrews got on the act, great score. But Kerry are just choked every time they go forward.
Yeah, they're not functioning. Only 4 points so far for Kerry. You can make all kinds of excuses that I mentioned earlier for the weather conditions, but they're the same for both teams, and it's not as if they're not used to playing in these kind of conditions throughout the rest of the year. Again, Paul Gainey having to try and work very hard just to keep it in play.
Yes, there's no doubt about it, sure. Eamon Fitzmaurice will have to do something in half-time, because the Kerry attack on the basis of what we're seeing are betraying serious shortcomings.
Only real goal chance so far was the one early on. Dean Rock stopped by Brendan Keeley. Now Jack McCaffrey, a point scorer a little while ago. Look at Donegal Walsh trying to keep up with him. One of the fastest men in Gaelic football, and then has the vision and the awareness to pick out Paddy Andrews in support. Connolly once again, stripped of the ball, but there's a support player. Andrews once more. Goes back onto his own 65-metre line virtually. Now Cooper. That's the Dublin Cooper. all the way in here, bounces awkwardly again for Bernard Brogan this time, and it allows Brendan Keeley to obligingly take it. No pressure on the goalkeeper. Chance to make his mind up who's going to make a run for it, and it's John Fitzgerald. They've carried the ball time and again out of their own half with a certain amount of conviction in their play, but then it all breaks down in and around 30 metres from the Dublin goal. Anthony Marr inside the final minute of the opening 35. Cooper has come out to pull the strings. Across here as far as Paul Gainey. 2 points so far by Gainey. He's justified his selection, trying to get inside past Rory O'Carroll, loses it, ball handled very low that time. Referee says not on the ground by Johnny Cooper, and Dublin are able to break, encouraged by their fans, roaring them on as James McCarthy feeds it in here, taken with difficulty by Cian O'Sullivan. Back once again there came Kieran Kilkenny. Dennis Bastick now. Once more it's Dublin in control. 3 ahead. Fenton trying to get maybe the last score before half-time. Kieran Kilkenny. Again, it's the cornerback, McMahon. And his man Cooper ahead of him. McMahon strikes it, and it's over the bar. On a day when things are going well for Dublin, and when Billy McMahon has scored more than his marker, Colin Cooper, you have to wonder. We're into 2 minutes of added time at the end of the first half, and Dublin lead here by double scores.
Very much so, Gerard. They're way more cohesive. There's much better interplay with Dublin at the moment. Their cornerbacks are getting forward. They're causing Kerry all kinds of mayhem throughout the field. Kerry need to get into the dressing room, reassess what's happening, but they're struggling at the minute.
Just look at the face there of Colin Cooper. Absolute frustration etched across his features. And the backroom team here have decisions to make. Diarmuid Murphy, the former goalkeeper, Eamon Fitzmaurice there, Cian O'Neill as well. Mikey Sheehy, of course, is also part of that backroom team, the management team. 4 points behind. The only thing good to be said from a Kerry point of view is they've got the second half to try and make amends. Johnny Buckley, and they're only 4 adrift. Again, Aidan O'Mahony fumbling initially, and that was enough to allow Dean Rock get in with the challenge. And then was it handled on the ground? The referee says yes. And in the final 30 seconds of added time, it'll be Dublin who have the free kick, and they have a late chance maybe of mounting one more attack. Diarmuid Connolly took it quickly, all the way up here towards Bernard Brogan, beat Shane Enright to it, back out as far as Kieran Kilkenny, trying to get in past Jonathan Lyne, kicking it poorly with the right, bounces in front of Brendan Keeley, and Kerry can breathe a sigh of relief. They will hold possession now, you'd imagine, or will they get a chance themselves to get a shot on the target? Donegal Walsh slipping, referee's looking at his watch, and he blows the half-time whistle, and it's half-time here in the All-Ireland Football Final, and Dublin have done much the better of the opening 35 minutes. They took the lead early on. Kerry then came back at them strongly, but Eamon Fitzmaurice has work to do because his side really isn't functioning. But then that's to the credit of Dublin, and at half-time here in the final it's Dublin 8 points, Kerry 4. Very shortly we'll have the views of Colin O'Rourke, Joe Brawley and Pat Spillane with Michael Lester after this.
In terms of helping to bring a team on.
There's no doubt about it. Kerry have had 4 weeks to sort of play competitive games. There's nothing like this. But, you know, you should never lose faith. And the boys went for Kerry beforehand. You never change horses in midstream. John Wayne got his feet wet trying to do that. I think Kerry will make enough changes. This will be a proper contest in the second half.
Well, there's one of them, Darren O'Sullivan, on, as Pat said.
And what Darren brings is he brings what McMenamin brings to the Dubs. He's a direct, strong runner that will run it to half the defence.
It'll soon be time for McMenamin, Pat. I mean, in this wide open prairie in front of the Kerry defence, I mean, McMenamin will flourish. And
with Connolly and Flynn being peripheral figures.
Well, I think Kerry needed to make their changes at the back, to tighten up at the back.
Look, in the last 20
it's going to be one interesting second half. Time for us to hand back to the commentary box to rejoin Ger Canning and Martin Carney.
Thank you, Michael. Yes, Darren O'Sullivan has come in place of Stephen O'Brien. That's the first change made by either manager. And There's another change now. Kevin McMenamin's come in. Just spotted him coming in. Last man to come in. And it might be Dean Rock, I think, who's gone. I think it is Dean Rock who's gone. The second half gets underway. And straight away it is Kerry who get early possession. Anthony Marr. David Moran, his midfield partner. Straight away to Darren O'Sullivan, a man with so much pace, so much ability as well. Former captain. Into Colin Cooper. Cooper, who as captain lost twice to Dublin in championship matches, the 2011 final and the 2013 semi-final. Quick free inside as far as James O'Donoghue. Oh, knocked away brilliantly again by Jonny Cooper. Cooper on James O'Donoghue. Great piece of defending. Well, that was so fast you barely saw it, in fact, the way Jonny Cooper got in that time. And there's Kevin McMenamin applying some pressure there to Aidan O'Mahony. And a free kick.
Well, that was a textbook tackle a couple of moments ago by Cooper. And, OK, the counter-attack then from Dublin. Just, if you noticed there a moment ago, the speed of Connolly in contrast. Just watch that tackle again. Textbook stuff. But Connolly's speed, in comparison to Peter Crowley, was worrying from a Kerry defensive point of view.
Floodlights on here. Needed. Pouring rain still. Somebody with a peculiar sense of humour gave us a piece of music just before the teams came out. Raindrops keep falling on my head. They've been doing it. Diarmuid Connolly in there quickly to take Jonathan Lyne, surrounded immediately by Dublin players who are playing with such intensity.
Oh, very much so, Ger, very much more at the pace than Kerry are. Kerry are struggling in so many positions at the moment. They're flat, they're insipid, they need an injection.
Darren O'Sullivan ready to give them that injection. Again, stopped by Jonny Cooper. Back out as far as James O'Donoghue again. Trying to get themselves back into the match quickly, Kerry here. Early stage of the second half. Johnny Buckley. Out as far as Jonathan Lyne. They need an early score here, you would imagine. Will that curl in sufficiently? He's got it. Jonathan Lyne, whose granddad, Denny Lyne, captained Kerry in the 1947 Polo Grounds final, has come good here, and he's made it 8 points to 5.
Well, it's one of the first times I've seen Dublin not tracking the runners, not kind of curbing the guys coming forward. Lyne was very confident, curled it in from a difficult angle.
They had gone 13 minutes without scoring in this match, either side of half-time, and that's a poor kick out again here. In trouble there with those, no doubt about it, as Kerry press up now.
Yeah, and just watch the referees going over and having a word with Flick McMahon, the way he is actually tackling.
Back in here quickly, ball runs away, Cooper after it, missed by the goalkeeper, retrieved by Cooper. Darren O'Sullivan wants it, gets it, having a go, brilliant shot, very low backlift, loads of power, early impression from Darren O'Sullivan and an early impact. And now it's a 2-point game, and suddenly this match may be turning around on its head. Early stages yet. Dublin got the first 2 scores at the beginning of the game. Kerry got the first 2 scores of the second half. James McCarthy foul there by Jonny Buckley. Back in here as far as Dennis Bastick, nobody on him. McCaffrey taking it on his shoulder, taking it forward. Kick down towards Bernard Brogan. Again, the ball just gathers pace as it hits the turf and spins away from the Oliver Plunkett's Owen Rua man. Kicked back in by Shane Enright. Pressure again applied there, this time by Kieran Kilkenny, and carried out over the sideline by the other number 12, Donica Walsh.
Yeah, this relentless rainfall, it hasn't let up at all, and it's making conditions increasingly difficult.
Bastick, 45 metres out, into Andrews, tries to spin and turn, so near. Second goal chance for Dublin in this match. That was a close run thing here. Quick turn there by Paddy Andrews. Only one ever goal scored by Andrews in championship football.
That's textbook forward play, apart from the finish, the way he got the ball turned, had the rattle, beat the goalkeeper, but just from a Dublin point of view, unfortunately, just outside the post. But getting a ball in quickly, if, like Andrews, the Dublin forwards can control it, they have great opportunities.
That's a poor kick out this time by Brendan Keeley. Dublin able to pounce on it quickly. Into Diarmuid Connolly. Connolly takes off, ready to make his mark in this game, and then he is caught by Peter Crowley.
Well, there's no doubt about it. The improvement in Connolly today from the 2 games with Mayo is significant, and if he can kind of put his imprint on the second half, then Dublin will be, or Kerry rather, will be in worse trouble.
Here's another change. Michael Dara McCauley in place of Dennis Bastick. Neither manager hanging around. It's time to win an All-Ireland final. Well, there is still a half an hour left. Bernard Brogan kicking this one unerringly between the uprights, his second point of this match. 9 points to 6. Dublin needing that score just to settle them down. Taking them 5 minutes of the second half in which to get that first scoring opportunity. Now Brendan Keeley fluffed his last kick out. This one going long into the middle, handled low and touched on the ground by David Moran. He was falling down onto it. Dublin with the free kick.
Yes, and Dublin are leaving 1-to-1 inside with McManaman inside, and they're just pulling everybody else out.
Trying to expose any frailties there may be in that Kerry backline. That one spun past Bernard Brogan, not for the first time in this second half. Both defences went into this game with certain questions to be answered.
Well, there's no doubt about it today, Ger. It's very difficult to be composed in the conditions that you have out there, but Dublin will be much happier with their defensive structure, with their defensive system, and with the way their 1-to-1 markings have gone. Kerry are somewhat all over the place. The likes of Connolly starting to make an impact here, and Kilkenny's had a good half, and Paddy Andrews certainly has had his moments as well.
And the combined choirs here of Dublin and Kerry fans raise the volume, raise the decibel level. Full house, which means 82,000 plus. And they're bringing up their goalkeeper to take this one, so it'll be Stephen Cluxton who will make tracks here to try and hit it. Never an easy one for a left-footed kicker, but he kicked one already from that side of the field, as it were, in the first half with his left, and it went over on that occasion. So looking to get his second point of this match and put 4 between the teams.
Yeah, Jerry, I know it's only early stages in the second half, 7 minutes gone, but Connolly to me has started to assert his authority, has had 2 or 3 very good plays and looks to be full of energy. And the guy, Peter Crowley, I think is struggling, and as the boy said at half-time, it's maybe in defence that Kerry need to have changes at the moment, but they don't have the depth.
They're probably also concerned about injuries to Mark O'Shea and to Paul Murphy. Cluxton starting out right. Will it come back into the hands that time of David Moore, and then he loses it, and picking it up is Paul Flynn over his left shoulder and over the... No, it's gone wide. Dublin fans on Hill 16 were ready to cheer that one. Missed opportunity by Paul Flynn.
Oh, big opportunity missed that time actually to go and put them 4 points ahead. Beautiful bit of pickpocketing up front. Moran coming out, great tackle. Flynn though off form today again, maybe going back too much into defence, but that's a score he would have taken other years with his eyes closed. Well,
truly the conditions are treacherous. An overused word, I know, but this afternoon so difficult for all of those players down there. Aidan O'Mahony back out into the middle as far as Anthony Marr. Bit of composure then required. Peter Crowley again looking for a loose player, breaking forward. Marr once more, keeping it along the line over to Jonathan Lyne. And then comes Darren O'Sullivan, already making an impact. Jonny Buckley back to James O'Donoghue, kicking from 40 metres out. Has he got it on target? No.
Oh, and they're going laterally, Jerry, if you notice, much more than they would have liked to. And again, a kick from distance that time, badly directed. Kerry need... okay. Ryan Sheehan may be coming in at the moment. I'm not surprised that he's coming in for Jonny Buckley, who's off form.
So Sheehan in. He also has that ability, of course, as he replaces Jonny Buckley, of being the Kerry free taker. And in conditions like we've got today, that could be very important. Cluxton slipped that time, still managed to get it down as far as Paul Flynn. Flynn, who's given Killian Young plenty to think about in this match. Kilkenny laid off as far as McCaffrey. Off he goes. Look at this for a race between 2 sprinters. And Darren O'Sullivan does enough to just halt McCaffrey initially, but back in there it goes towards McMahon, way up in the corner forward position. Across the face of goal. Marr, quick look over his shoulder. Back out to safety, back out as far as Fitzgerald. Both sides living dangerously. Robbed there by Paddy Andrews. Andrews recycles here. Back as far as James McCarthy. Fed inside. Michael Dara McCauley. First touch he's got in this match. Slip back inside again to McCarthy. Stopped there by David Moore, and McCarthy once again bounces it. Brian Sheehan's back there to help. Carried out by Sheehan once more. And the big St Mary's man gives it to the Gooch. Colin Cooper. Hasn't been his match so far.
Yeah, there's a touch of desperation actually about the Kerry defending a moment ago, and you don't want Cooper playing as a sweeper, Ger. You need him further upfield, and Dublin are dictating that by McMahon getting forward.
3 between them. Cooper once again. David Moran. Anthony Marr now has a chance to carry this one forward. Fenton was ahead of him. Spins away there from James O'Donoghue. The backs are there in numbers. Cian O'Sullivan. 11 minutes into the second half. Straight out as far as Michael Dara McCauley. Footballer of the Year when Gavin won this in 2013. Back out as far as Brian Fenton, who got the opening score of the match. He's a chance to put this one over the bar, or maybe even better. Oh, off the butt of the upright. There was a point there for the taking. He was brave, but perhaps he was a little foolish as well in that he didn't take the chance to put 4 between the teams.
Well, I think he did the right thing, Ger. He made the opening beautifully for himself, went for it, had the guts to go for it. Unlucky that time, and again the ball could have easily ricocheted off Bernard Brogan into the net, but I think he did the right thing in going for the goal.
Well, that's 3 goal chances now, Martin, we've had for Dublin.
And remember the last game against Tyrone had 4 goal chances against Kerry, and I mean, Kerry defence at the moment, it's so porous.
Michael Dara McCauley keeps this alive. Back out to Fenton once more. Beautifully in here. Neat turn. And that one is kicked over by Paul Flynn. The hill erupts. Paul Flynn scores. Dublin get another and lead by 4 after 47 minutes of the All-Ireland football final.
Well, there's no doubt about it. Kerry are in big trouble at the moment. I'm surprised in a way that they haven't brought on Kieran Donaghy. They're very, very poor shape in their forward line. Cooper is away out the field. James O'Donoghue, I think, again, are the only 2 up front.
That time Bernard Brogan, you saw, was nearly at the receiving end of that as that one hit the butt of the upright. Back come Dublin again. They are relentless at this stage. They may have ceded the opening couple of points of the second half, but Kerry now with a battle on their hands, 4 behind as David Moran feeds it forward. Darren O'Sullivan out to Cooper, playing a little return ball. Darren O'Sullivan put it way to the right. 10 minutes now since Kerry scored.
Well, that's the first bit of dynamic interplay we have seen from Kerry, it must be said. Sullivan rushed that ball, but the Dublin defence covering very effectively, but they'll be disappointed not to have brought the game back to 3 points.
Mick Fitzsimons is coming on. Michael comes on in place of Jonny Cooper.
Yeah, Cooper normally is taken off around this time in every game, but he's had a very effective game up to now.
Yeah, it's an interesting substitution. As you say, they have been doing that particular tactic of changing cornerback in every one of the championship matches this summer.
That's right, around the 45th minute. Just watch to the left. There's a right good scrap going on between Paul Flynn and Peter Crowley.
Let it be said, Jonny Cooper had a very good match. But off he goes and things are freshened up at the back and get heated in the middle. A 4-point game. Dublin seeking their 25th All-Ireland title. Kerry trying to hold on to the one they won last year and make it 38 wins in all over the years.
Kerry need to score badly, Ger, at the moment. If their challenge isn't to become derailed completely. I still say Donaghy would give them a different impetus, a different
He's being
direction.
prepared, Martin. He's being prepared. Anthony Marr back here. Back to Cooper. Provider. Fumbled initially. Darren O'Sullivan back in as far as James O'Donoghue on the left, and he steers that one over the bar, and he's now got 3 in this match. Didn't score in last year's final, but they won then. He preferred to win. It's about the team ethic, and Kerry have that team ethic, but Dublin have a 3-point lead still.
Yeah, lovely seam of cuteness and guile that time between the 3 inside forward, resulted in a good point by O'Donoghue.
Donaghy comes on, Gainey goes off. And Paul Ganey got 2 points in the first half and didn't let the side down during that time. But this is a change of approach now. It's very much a tactical switch on the part of Kerry. We know what to expect right now. It surely is going to be route one.
Route one, but at the moment it must be said Dublin are by far the more polished team.
And Kerry are going to win the ball in the middle of the field first. They do. David Moran, Darren O'Sullivan, up to the big man, and the star has got it. Lays it off, a fumble there by Donegal Walsh. Kerry behind by 3, back out once again to Darren O'Sullivan, settles himself, and that steadying effect is good because he put it over the bar and got a second, and now it's just a 2-point game, and there are 20 minutes left in the All-Ireland final, thanks to Darren O'Sullivan's latest score. Kerry getting closer. Again, Dublin make a hash of their own kick out and then return it to Cluxton, and very nearly it was given away for a 45, but now unchallenged. Trying to sum up his options. Every one of the players near him, in front of him, was being marked, so he turns it out to the right to Rory O'Carroll instead. Fitzsimons, first touch. James McCarthy. McMenamin needs to go again. Trying to get away from Aidan O'Mahony. Michael Dara McCauley. Will the subs be the ones who will turn it around for Dublin and win eventually? They have a 2-point lead still.
Yeah, the following's coming a little bit more frequent in this half, a lot of aggressive stuff, but you never saw players in an All-Ireland final playing in their confirmation suits.
Kieran Kilkenny slipping the little handball here in as far as Jack McCaffrey, then Darren O'Sullivan tackling, challenging, in comes Cooper to try and win it, ball held too long, free out. Kerry's free from their own 20-metre line.
First time in the game, Ger, really, that Kerry are starting to assert a little bit of authority. They'll be pleased maybe the introduction of Donaghy is giving them a slightly different impetus. But again, I'm just repeating myself possibly, but they need somebody up alongside him.
Now that's going to be countered by John Small coming on. And wouldn't be surprised if he comes in and marks Kieran Donaghy. And it's Jack McCaffrey who is he coming off? He's been attended to. I think he is coming off.
It surprised me, Ger, that he's a big player for Dublin, gives them that great go-forward impetus.
Well, if he's injured, they have no choice, obviously, but he's off, and there are still 2 between them, and Kerry give away the free kick because David Moran holds on too long.
That's an untypical decision by Kerry, it must be said, Jared. Normally they're way more incisive in the use of the ball than that, but there is no support coming off the shoulder.
Here comes Stephen Cluxton again, even though Connolly himself is a very good free taker, and he was slipping on the ground as he was coming out, and Kieran Donaghy pleading his innocence. It is going to be a Dublin free kick, and Stephen Cluxton now decides to take a few seconds off the clock. No particular hurry. Dublin are ahead. 53 minutes are gone, as you can see. Kerry fans feeling he's overdoing it. This is what happened here. A little push from Kieran Donaghy.
Nothing major, nothing really menacing about that. You know, a little bit of hard things today, Stephen.
Yeah, but if anything, Stephen Cluxton's now managed to get himself the best part of a minute shaved off the clock from the time, and he's given himself every opportunity to boot this one over, get his 2nd point of the final, and in the process put Dublin back 3 points in front again. 50 metres out on a rain-sodden afternoon. That's swinging away to the right, missed opportunity.
That's the second one, actually, is missed from distance, Ger, but both benches now are being emptied, and remember, both benches bring an awful lot of experience and an awful lot of menace.
David Hickey there, the team doctor, had a little word with Jack McCaffrey, a pat on the back, one of the great stars of the past, of course. So Jim Gavin, and likewise Eamon Fitzmaurice, living on their nerves right now, normally very calm individuals. Into the middle of the field, there's an All-Ireland to win here. Jonathan Lyne back as far as Shane Enright. Little block on it, gets to line once again. Then Anthony Marr, surrounded. Slips away from Connolly. Boots it away before Michael Dara McCauley can put in a decent challenge. 1 against 2. And the man taking it down there was Donegal Walsh against the 2 Dublin defenders. But eventually stripped of the football, and Rory O'Carroll wins it back for the Dubs. Is it to be Dublin's day? Will it be Kerry's? The next quarter of an hour will tell an awful lot. Philly McMahon down there towards Andrews. Where he goes, Fionn Fitzgerald goes. Fitzgerald having his difficulty with Andrews. Back in there once again. Kevin McMenamin now. A man who has scored crucial goals, not just recently in the semi-final matches against Mayo, but of course so importantly against Dublin in the past. Back to Brian Fenton, and they isolate a couple of players inside. One of them is Bernard Brogan, kicking it high, hoping it'll come in from left to right. Doesn't do so, goes wide. It's Dublin 7th wide. It's their 5th of the second half. Kerry with 8 so far.
Yeah, Dublin will be a little disappointed in this. They've only scored 2 points in the second half so far, Gerard. Kerry are starting to get a bit of grip around the middle. A couple of good bits of fielding there by both Maher and Moran. And if they can get Bourne ball into Donaghy, who knows?
Anybody's match. A goal would be hugely important. Kieran Kilkenny. Kevin McMenamin holding it up for Diarmuid Connolly. 45 metres out, beating the attempted block of Peter Crowley. But I think Peter Crowley may have just done enough to put Connolly off, and another one has gone wide.
Yeah, we talk about shot selection. They've had a couple of very, very poor wides in the last couple of minutes. And
now look who's coming on. Paul Galvin, 35 years of age.
Well, if you want a tough battle and if you want a warrior to come in, Galvin's your man.
And there going off is going to be David Moran. David Moran went off in the semi-final as well, and Galvin comes on. Keeley with the kick out into the centre here, where it is fumbled by Brian Sheehan, but picked up once again by a very determined Kieran Kilkenny. And Dublin come menacingly forward once more. Like Kevin McMenamin trying to wrong foot Aidan O'Mahony. Back to Kilkenny. Connolly penned in. Kerry quite happy to try and pen him in, but Connolly somehow eludes the challenge. Looking to try and put 3 between the teams. McMenamin, it's like cat and mouse. Laid off. McMenamin somehow is dragged down by O'Mahony, or is he?
He is indeed, Gerard. That's black card territory.
Sure is. And Aidan O'Mahony, I think, fearing the worst. So referee David Coldrick.
David Coldrick, I think, has only one decision to make this time. It was a deliberate pull down. We might see Mark O'Shea coming in now, but that's a big blow to Dublin, or to Kerry, if he has to go off.
And it's the black card, and he has got it, and Aidan O'Mahony is black carded, leaves the contest. And the player who is coming in at this stage is Paul Murphy, I think.
Yeah.
And very, very quickly Murphy comes in as a replacement.
Yeah, definitely Mark O'Shea must be injured. There must be something wrong with his hamstring if they didn't pull him in.
Well, it's 10 minutes since Dublin scored, and they have failed to raise a white flag here. Bernard Brogan wide.
Is that 3 or 4 wides now in the trot actually for Dublin? They're big misses actually in a game like this, where it's a low-scoring game.
Only 2 points scored by Dublin in the second half in 23.5 minutes of football. 4 points scored by Kerry in the same time. And Kerry come with Killian Young freeing up Peter Crowley here. Connolly went back, couldn't get in a hand or a challenge. Cross to Donaghy, a diagonal ball, but he fumbles. O'Carroll took it away. Michael Darragh Macaulay urged on by the Dublin following here at Croke Park. Down along the line to Paddy Andrews. John Fitzgerald goes down. He says, Andrews says he picked it off the ground. The referee didn't agree. In as far as Marr now. Change set of circumstances in midfield for Kerry now that David Moran has gone. Brian Sheehan able to play in there in midfield. It's Cooper still pulling the strings. Hardly seen Cooper in there as an inside forward during this match. Cian O'Sullivan. It's only a 2-point game.
Yeah, that was a great intercept by Diarmuid Connolly.
Fenton should be the goalkeepers. Challenged there by Bernard Brogan. Has a support player. Once again, a nerveless Shane Enright. Out as far as Brian Sheehan. Next score could be very, very important in this match. So delicately poised. Sheehan inside to James O'Donoghue, but again he couldn't take it up. Fenton can. Released outside here to Michael Fitzsimons. Sally's fourth here. 3 Kerry defenders were in front of him. So it's up to Kieran Kilkenny to use his soloing and ball handling ability. Good decision making by Dublin. Recycled, back out to Fenton again. And the 22-year-old UCD student plays it to his right-hand side. Paul Flynn has scored once in the second half, and he has scored a second time. And the next point in the game has gone to Dublin, and they lead by 3. 10 minutes to go.
Of a credit, Diarmuid Connolly, with that wonderful vision, delightful pass, excellent finish, it must be said, from Fenton. But Connolly has had a very influential second half. Calm and measured, and everything he has done. Great score.
Darren Daly has come on, and Cian O'Sullivan, who has given an hour of wonderful effort for Dublin in spite of injury, goes off. And Barry John Keane is the next one to come in, number 21.
By all accounts, Jerry, he's been the form team or the form player in training. He's coming in from O'Donoghue, who hasn't had the best of days. Last year's Footballer of the Year, never quite showed us his full range of skills in this match. But then he started the year with an injury which curtailed him for a long, long time. Killian Young, Brian Sheehan, Kerry with it all to do. Gavin back in here. Sheehan kicking for 45 metres. And kicking poorly. No great pressure on him. Should have been able to do better with that, and he'll know it. Stays at 11 points to 8. Yeah, well fielded there by Sheehan, but just as that ball went wide, it's interesting to watch actually Colm Cooper remonstrating with the umpires about the treatment he's getting from Philly McMahon, and it wouldn't be surprised actually if the referee comes out and has a word with Philly McMahon about his behaviour.
Well, that may be exactly what we're going to see next. David Coldrick, who handled the 07 final Kerry versus Cork and the 2010 Cork versus Down finals. Very experienced official, and his umpires have indeed brought, as Martin Carney was saying, Philly McMahon's, shall we say, treatment of his opponent. Philly pleads his innocence. Well, I think it's not going to be enough to avoid a yellow card.
Yeah, it's amazing in the replay against Mayo where he attacked and attacked and attacked and left the kind of negativity behind how effective he was, and he has been so good up to now, it's ridiculous to actually pick up a yellow card. 2 yellow cards for Dublin, a black card for Aidan O'Mahony of Kerry. Kicked away by James McCarthy. Kerry have it back. Brian Sheehan once again. Harassed but fouled by Michael Darragh-Macaulay. And Dublin will want to see him take the free kick quickly. A weary-looking Macaulay, even though he's only come off the bench, I suppose, 10 minutes ago. Well, if anybody can direct a ball from this distance, it's Brian Sheehan. Most wonderful long striker of a ball, one of the great best I've ever seen.
It's 55 metres out, central position. It's within his range. Can he make it? Up into the air, but dropping to the left-hand side, and a missed opportunity. That's 2 in a row now that have gone astray from Brian Sheehan for Eamon Fitzmaurice's team. Yeah, 10 wides for Kerry, 8 points to their credit, but 3 adrift, and now only 7 minutes remaining in the final.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. Dublin are still holding the whip hand. Dublin are still dictating the trend of the game.
Pressure there immediately on James McCarthy following that kick out. Pressure from Galvin. Overzealous, however, i.e. fouling.
Well, we have a loving up here on the other side, yeah.
We have a couple of players on the deck. Jim Gavin getting a little incensed about that because his man, Kieran Kilkenny, was one of the players involved. Might just catch a glimpse of this here from the camera behind.
Yeah,
there you are.
Is it? I don't know who it is.
A little drag down there.
Yeah.
His marker had been Jonathan Lyne. I'm not sure that Jonathan was the player involved, however. That ball is kicked all the way down here, and Michael Darragh-Macaulay winning his race with Brian Sheehan, and he kicks it off Sheehan's legs, and he gets a 45. Excellent play by Michael Darragh-Macaulay. His team 3 up, and they will have the next scoring opportunity.
Yeah, the correct decision that time. Great ball though into the corner. Good presence of mind by Michael Darragh-Macaulay. Got the deflection of Sheehan. Just watch it here. Definitely a 45. But at the moment, Ger, I know they're not consumed by panic yet, but Kerry need a goal very, very quickly. If Cluxton nails this, we're going into the last 5 minutes.
I can't remember a goal chance created by Kerry so far.
Not one, and not a quality diagonal high ball into Donaghy since he came in.
Again, an important free, but not as important as the one, of course, in 2011. That one won the All-Ireland after an earlier goal by Kevin McMenamin in dramatic circumstances, but can he make it? It's going away to the right-hand side. He's missed quite a few. He's just got one, but each time he's gone up the field there, a lot of seconds have been used up, and that's in Dublin's favour at this stage, and the time is very much against Kerry with only 5 minutes remaining, plus presumably another 2 minutes of added time. Here's Gavin. Up to Donaghy. They've got to get something special here pretty quickly. Donaghy surrounded by two players. Will the referee allow play to continue or pull him for overholding? And he's pulled him for holding on too long. Or has he?
No, I don't think
it's
so.
going to be a free.
20-metre free, I think. It was held that time, I thought.
He might even opt to throw it up.
He may throw it up. He got the ball that time. He's held down. He does well to get the regain possession. Loses it. I'm not sure why he's throwing up the ball. It was either free in or a free out that time.
Alan Brogan's coming on. Brian Fenton's going off. Alan to come on and enjoy the last few minutes of this at the end of a wonderful career, replacing a young man at the beginning of his. So he throws the ball up at the end, the referee. Donaghy has it. Here's a chance. Oh, Killian Young had the opportunity and he let it slip from his grasp. And in came James McCarthy, and Dublin can break once again with Alan Brogan picking up his first possession. All the way down to his younger brother Bernard. Back to Alan again. Two former footballers of the year, the Brogans. Has options right and left. Needs to make his mind up, and his mind was made up to kick it with his left and to boot it over the bar. What an introduction. The hill erupts. Sea of blue and navy there, ready to salute a point by Alan Brogan to see Dublin 4 ahead. Can they remain in front? Is there a Kerry response? Killian Young kicks it. It's spilled there by Rory O'Carroll. In comes Kieran Donaghy. Back once again towards Colm Cooper. Cooper looking for reinforcements. They're too far back from him. And eventually it is kicked forward. Here's Paul Murphy. Out by Michael Dara-McCauley like a basketball player. Flipped it away. In the end, the ball is handled on the ground. It's going to be a free out.
Kerry are protesting actually that Donaghy should got a penalty that time, but going back to that miss by Killian Young, the break-up field in the score, that was the seminal moment in the match.
Kevin McMenamin holding on. Again he moves forward with power and with menace. Three of them are after him. Paul Murphy, one of them. The other there is Fionn Fitzgerald. And in the end it is touched off the defender. Or is it? Now the umpire says it's gone wide.
I certainly thought that was a 45. Great play by McMenamin, holding on to the ball, very composed in possession, drawing three players into it. Just watch this time. Great opportunity. Oh, Killian Young just panics a little bit, doesn't keep his eye on the ball. Chance goes a begging.
Kerry come. They need a goal. Gavin. Knocked across here by Brian Sheehan. Jonathan Lyne. Again inside towards Donaghy, 2 against 1, and the backs get it out, and they get it out to the security there of James McCarthy. That's John Small there, fouled by Donegal Walsh. Free kick for Dublin. They take it quickly out as far as Alan Brogan. They got that last point. Michael Dara-McCauley now carrying it forward in leisurely fashion. We approach the 69th minute. Well, McCauley again here. All the advantages resting with Dublin at this stage.
They have completely derailed Kerry, it must be said, Ger. Their tackling has been venomous, they've been very disciplined at the back, and their structure has worked to a T.
I'm not sure to what extent the extra match against Mayo has helped Dublin. I think it certainly was of quite a considerable use, but that's an awful ball by Cluxton. Donaghy gave it in as far as Donegal Walsh, and Donegal Walsh then, the referee has decided, was hauled down. Bemused looking Paul Flynn looks on. Free in.
Well, certainly I didn't anticipate the deficiencies that we have seen in Kerry today. They have been so badly beaten up front. You know, the three inside forwards that have so much quality of Cooper, Guinea and O'Donoghue never made the expected impact, and it's all down to the fact that the Dublin defensive system worked with, it was so efficient, it worked to a T.
Well, again, Donncha Walsh, the player who's being attended to here, the referee having words. You can see that Colm Cooper and earlier on there, Kieran Donaghy very frustrated. Just not going their way.
It's not going their way, and you know, Dublin have applied unremitting pressure, you know, at different times throughout the games. Should be more ahead.
Take a look at this again here. This was the incident there.
I don't know, Ger. I don't know. It's a hard. Okay, maybe there. No, I don't think so. I don't think so. There's just a contest for the ball. Conditions maybe played a part in it, but I do not think that there was a penalty. The boys tonight will obviously
well, no penalty was given, and that's all that matters right here and now. Anybody can analyse it afterwards, but right now the referee makes the decision. Kerry are 2 scores away from even levelling this matchup. 4 points adrift. So what's Sheehan going to do? Put it over the bar quickly and hope that they get an opportunity of getting a goal.
Well, there'll probably be enough time to get another attack if they can get forward with the ball, but I'd say he'll just chip it over.
We're in injury time, as you can see. We'll be anticipating 2 minutes of injury time.
I'd say a little bit more, Ger.
Referee having words there, and cards about to be flashed. One of them is Kieran Donaghy, the other there to Rory O'Carroll.
And I think that all goes back to the incident, maybe, which was a marginal call in all fairness, Ger, but
Brian Sheehan to take this. All he can do is try and tap it over the bar, which he does. So now it's a 3-point game. Brian Sheehan's pointed free, 12-9 now. And now finally we've been told it's a 4 minutes. Finally they raise the board, a minute and a half into injury time, and tell us that there are 4 minutes to go. So 2.5 minutes remaining.
Well, I think
this team needs a goal.
Yeah, very much so, but I think that's an appropriate amount of time because there's been quite a few stoppages.
Gavin went in and challenged. Well won back there. Darren Daly out to Michael Dara McCauley and fouled by Brian Sheehan unceremoniously.
Yeah, good play that time by McCauley, holding on to the ball, drawing the foul.
Down towards Bernard Brogan here. Needs to just hold it up here now. Such a good target, man. Again, it is Shane Enright who was fouling him there, and they're calling up the goalkeeper once again, Stephen Cluxton. Once more the target, and the tactic rather surely will be to try and use up some precious seconds. He's not going, however.
If he's going, he's certainly taking his time about it. I'd say this ball, they take it as much time as possible. Put it dead. That's the main thing, Ger. Put it out of play. If they can score, well and good, but don't drop it short.
Well, he's going eventually. And let's see how many seconds are going to be used up before this free is taken.
Well, he's coming out of it, he's going back now. There's indecision there. It's like the slow boat to China.
Well, he's now been told to go back. Brian Sheehan has got a yellow card. Wretched afternoon for Kerry, by and large. Only 9 points on the board. 3 behind. Dublin with an opportunity now to kill it off here with another score. Dermot Connolly, an impossible angle, so will he try and recycle this one? It's capable of anything, we know. Again, the seconds tick away. We're well and truly into the 4th minute, and the ball hasn't been in play, I would say, for the last 90 seconds. The referee should add time on. Does he make it here? No.
Oh, this tackle now is essential for Kerry, and you know, even when they brought in Donaghy and jettisoned the system that they had in the first half, it has made no difference.
Back from Fionn Fitzgerald to the goalkeeper. The amateur whistlers from Dublin appealing to the referee. There's still seconds. Surely there'll be another minute after this for the wasted time. Peter Crowley. Darren O'Sullivan. Held onto there by Barry John Keane. In it goes towards Donaghy. Hands reaching up for it, but it's a Dublin pair of hands that take it down. James McCarthy heroically getting to that one, winning the free kick. And again, Philly McMahon saying to Alan Brogan, no hurry.
Absolutely.
3 in front.
Well, certainly that backline today has set a benchmark in brilliance the way they have played. They have been superb. They haven't given the Kerry attack a sniff of it. And they're the crowd that really the sector that deserves all the plaudits.
Cluxton back out here as far as McManaman. It's all over! Dublin have won the All-Ireland for 2015. Jonny Cooper and all the others. Kevin McManaman celebrating with the fans. Sam Maguire will be spending the winter in the capital as Jim Gavin's team see off the challenge of Kerry. Disappointment for Kieran Donaghy. Delight for the goalkeeper. Delight for McManaman. Delight for everybody. And they have won back the title that they last held just 2 years ago. What a day for these Dublin players. The subs come on there. Tomas Brady, one of those who didn't play today but played his part during the championship. Bernard Brogan, of course, again. So once more, Eamon Fitzmaurice has seen his squad undone by the Dubs. Jack McCaffrey, a point scorer. And what an afternoon for Dublin football. They win by 12 points to 9. That's the third time in 5 years that the Leinster champions have accounted for Kerry in the championship.
Yeah, that's actually when you look at it.
So let's go down and let's get some comment.
Ian O'Sullivan, congratulations. How does that one feel?
It's just words really can't describe this feeling right now. It's absolute euphoria. Winning an All-Ireland final with these lads is just an absolutely amazing feeling.
Is it extra special given that it was against Kerry and they were the All-Ireland champions?
Yeah, I suppose so. You know, the perception out there would have been Kerry would have been, and ourselves are probably the top 2 teams in the country. So to win it in the fashion that we did, to beat the top teams like Mayo and Kerry, yeah, it really makes it extra special.
You were supposed to be injured. It didn't look it out there.
Yeah, no, thankfully I came through the injury over the last 2 weeks after. So special thanks to our backroom team, especially Kieran O'Reilly. The work he did was absolutely phenomenal, and it was a tough 2 weeks, but definitely worth it to get to play on the pitch here today.
Now, you've played a vital role for Dublin this year, and a different one. I presume you've enjoyed it given the impact you've made.
Sorry?
The different role you've played this year, I presume you've enjoyed it given how vital it's been to the team.
Yeah, no, I've really enjoyed it. Probably my natural position in there, number 6, and just glad that I could have a positive contribution to the team this year and help us win in All-Ireland. That's what it's all about. It's not any individual, it's a team, and that's what makes it so special, being able to share this moment with 30 other lads, backroom team included, 50 other lads, and we're going to have some fantastic celebrations now for the next couple of weeks and months.
I've no doubt, and it was an overwhelmingly positive contribution from you, Ian O'Sullivan. Well done today.
Yeah, they deserve to celebrate, and what a day for Jim Gavin there and his backroom team and his goalkeeper, of course, Stephen Cluxton. That's the third time in 5 years that the Leinster champions have accounted for Kerry in the championship. A bitterly disappointed Colm Cooper. Didn't score today, didn't have a good afternoon, but then it was a bad afternoon all around for the Kingdom. A day, however, of unrestrained joy for Dublin, and they will be ready to climb those 34 steps now from the grass out there in Croke Park up to the podium where they will be picking up the Sam Maguire Cup. Winners for the 25th time. Deserved winners, Martin.
Very much so. Like on the biggest day, they were the more assured team. They crowned a great season doing the double, won the league earlier on. And it must be said, Gerard, that it was a display framed by some wonderful defensive displays. You know, there was superior levels of game management throughout. I thought Dublin got the tactics right from the word go. Kerry struggled with the formation they came in with at the beginning, and there will be a lot of inquests about that. Why they brought in Cooper, Gainey and Donaghy into the forward line. Why didn't they start Donaghy? But it's all about Dublin. It's all about the winners. Ian O'Sullivan was influential. Philly McMahon outstanding. Cooper, well, as a panel, they've been outstanding, and it's their 4th All-Ireland win in 25 years. They'll be delighted to do, as you said, the 3 in a row in Dublin. That's the first time I think that time they have done it in their history, and they're fully deserving of the win on the day.
Alan Brogan there have been intimations that it might be his last game, but his brother Bernard is there ready to talk to us. Let's hear from Bernard.